My son, he's so soft-spoken.
Oh, yeah!
Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom.
Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Where? I'm so sorry.
You're getting it now? Okay, perfect. So he can start commentary? Okay.
Check, check,
Yeah, check. It's good, right?
check. Folks. Check.
Okay.
It's okay now, right?
Yeah, audio is good. Audio is good.
Good.
Audio is good.
Anna, turn on channel 5.
Very good afternoon and welcome to this slightly delayed start to our commentary for this much awaited clash between the two table toppers of the Western Division of the Toyota Minor League, brought to you by Sunoco in the Pacific Conference. This game is coming to you from the Tollgate Farm ground in the North Bend area of Greater Seattle area. The games between Seattle Thunderbolts and Silicon Valley Strikers. We are joining you just after the mid-innings stage for the first innings. The news from here is the Seattle Thunderbolts have won the toss and they put the Silicon Valley Strikers into bat. It's about 10.3 overs gone and there's 2 wickets have been lost and the score is 65 as Fani Samadri is bowling to Pranay Suri. It has been an interesting contest thus far. Strikers come into this game with an incredible record of winning all their 8 games thus far, and Thunderbolts are not far behind. They've just lost 1 so far of their 8 games. As in the meantime, there was a lovely little dab shot towards the gully as Captain Harmeet Singh, for the second time today, did not judge the ball well in the field, and it crosses the boundary line for 4. The Seattle Thunderbolts have been bowling very tight line length since morning today. But it's just about the last 2-3 overs that the strikers have been starting to gain some momentum in the scoring. Fani Samadri, who is the topmost wicket taker in the entire minor league cricket edition for 2022. He completes his first over as the score is 70 for 2 after 11.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
Harmeet Singh, he's bowled 2 overs for 9 runs. He has been the most economical bowlers as he's been so far in practically all the games for Thunderbolt. Fani Samadri, although he's been the highest wicket taker, he's been slightly on the expensive side, even in the first over, starting with 14 runs. Harmeet Singh with a slightly flighted that on the offside, takes a bit of an inside edge and trickles down to the leg side area for a single for Pranay Suri. The partnership is about 49, is about a 50-run partnership between these two so far. So the Thunderbolts would be looking for some wickets. That probably nicked the pads as it crosses the boundary line behind the wicket. And any runs coming in any way is welcome at this point of time for the strikers. They would want a little bit more of momentum to this time, taking it on the full and swiped it towards the fine leg area. And nicely fielded up there by the fielder. Shehan Jayasuriya, he's not been able to open up and run away with this scoring. That Seattle Thunderbolts were looking for. Harmeet Singh, who's been asking a lot of questions, varying his length and pace. This time, Pranay Suri playing all over it. And the ball had a bit of deception in it in terms of the length and the pace. He played a little too early and the ball was disturbed the timber work behind him. So a breakthrough for Seattle. A welcome breakthrough for them, I would say, after this pair had kind of sunk in and put some runs. And 76 for 3 after 11.5. And I would say strikers would not mind it because they needed this pair to kind of stem the flow of wickets, fall of wickets that happened rather quickly up top in the innings. They've put a foundation in place. Now it's for the latter half of the batsmen to come and build on this and put some decent total on the board. At this moment, I would say their run rate is at best modest, 6.42. Wonderful breakthrough, Harmeet Singh. How many times have we seen that from him this season? He's been very intelligent using himself and his 4 overs, knowing very well that he brings in a lot more variations. And today's game, this is the first time a game has been played on a natural turf for minor league cricket in this area, Seattle area. This is the first natural turf wicket. So clearly the conditions are far more favorable for the bowlers, and add to that the weather, the breeze and overcast, helping a lot of drift and swing, and the Thunderbolts used it pretty well today. So the new batsman is Raymond Rifer, and he pushes the ball, the last ball of Harmeet's third over, towards the gully area and picks up a single. It's 77 for 3 after 12.
Hey, Lucia. Any chance you can help me type a report?
Of course.
You are the best.
Oh, all this says is Q4 report.
Hey, Trevor, how's that report coming?
It's going great. Working on it right now.
See him.
ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే దీన్ని డైరెక్ట్గా దాంట్లో కనెక్ట్ చేస్తే ఏం కావట్లేదు.
Left-handed batsman on the crease.
Okay, Willie.
As Harmeet Singh brings back Rishi Bhardwaj for his third over.
You're out.
Clearly there's a plan there as Rishi bowls off spin, which would be going away from the batsman, whereas Fani Simadri probably feeding into the left-handed batsman. So there's a plan there for using the off-spinner to curtail the charge that the left-handed batsman would give. All eyes on Shehan Jayasuriya. He comes in with a huge reputation this edition, being the top scorer, has had some tall scores here. And this is a game that would define who's probably going to continue, or who's going to be the table topper there. Huge question asked by Prajeet Modi from behind the wicket for stumping. Umpire unmoved.
Okay, done.
That was some wonderful glove work from behind the stumps. There's clearly some urgency. There's clearly some restlessness there from Shehan Jayasuriya. He's had a few big shots that he's played, got some boundaries, but besides those, he's not been able to turn the strike over. He's not been able to score freely. Once again, a shot of desperation there, and Rishi not giving him the opportunity there. The ball coming on much slower than anticipated by the batsman. So a bit of a hike out there, catching, and the ball coming a bit slow, catching the lower end of the bat and going completely in different direction than intended. Raymond Rifer thus far has played a few balls and has been quite patient, pushing it into the gaps, picking up singles, turning the strike over to the well-set Shehan Jayasuriya. Once again, no space, no gap, no space given to the batsman to free their arms. It was bowled into the body, and at max the batsman could just push it towards the mid-wicket for a single. So 13 overs gone, 81 for 3 Silicon Valley Strikers.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
All the audio is live.
house. He picked up a very high catch to dismiss Unmukhchand, and now it is Shehan Jayasuriya, the other well-set batsman. Now, Thunderbolts would and they didn't let any of these batsmen get too far away from them. This would be an innings that may be not that satisfactory for Shehan Jayasuriya. He scored 27 out of 30 balls, never really got going, had a few big shots, couple of sixes, a boundary, but then Thunderbolts had better of him, kept him in check, and finally the desperation got to him here. I would give a lot of marks here to the captaincy of Harmeet Singh. 1 over from Fani Simadri gave him the estimation that the batsmen were feeling more comfortable playing the faster bowlers, and immediately got 3 overs of spin after that. His own, he got his 3rd over, he got another over from Rishi Bhardwaj, and now from Akhilesh Bodugam, which at best gave a few singles to the batsmen. Couple of fortuitous boundaries behind the wicket, but more or less the batsmen were getting restless as they were not getting any big shot, and that wicket was a result of that desperation. It's a wicket well created, well earned by the Thunderbolts here. As Akhilesh Bodugam gets start, and the new batter here for strikers is Roshan Primus. The batting run rate is just above 6 at this stage. With the 14th over in progress, a run rate of 6 is way below modest. Thunderbolts would be very happy with the progress they made so far, and they would not want things to get too far away out of them. And strikers would, with 2 new batters at the crease, they would be hoping one of these batsmen go on to play a bigger knock for the rest of the overs, for taking them to a slightly above par score. This is the first time we are playing in this ground, in these conditions. There's a bit of sun peeking in now, but the conditions are still highly conducive for bowling out here. Once again, the ball is bowled too close to the batsman's body on the off stump, not giving too much of room to the batsman to open their arms and score freely. It's just a dab down to the 3rd man area for a single. As I was saying, this was the first time we're playing a game here, so we don't have an idea what a par score here means. The outfield looks faster, but right now the contest is in that 22 yards, where the ball is doing quite a bit, and the skillful bowlers of Thunderbolts are bowling to their utmost potential. Akhilesh Bodugam with his last over here. He's picked up 2 wickets. He came into this match with 14 wickets, so that makes it 16. That was a little short of length of a ball. Sat up outside the off stump. Gave a little bit of room to the batsman to knock it towards the cover point boundary for a couple of runs. Boundaries are rare occurrence at this moment. It's a highly anticipated contest across the minor league. Going into the game, people would have thought strikers would have an upper hand in this game, and quite rightly so. They're the defending champions from the last year, and they've played like one, defending this year too, not losing any game. And they've been a champion batting side. In the meantime, it's the end of the over, and 86 for 4.
Microsoft Computer. Hey, cameraman.
After 14, Rishi Bhardwaj was about to bowl his fourth over, but they changed the plans. I think it's based on the calculations of who's going to bowl what. Fani Simhadri is back into the attack. This is the stage where he picks up a lot of wickets. Bowls his off-cutters, or rather cutters. Doesn't give too much of momentum and speed to the batsmen to free their arms. Happy knack of picking wickets. He's done everything. He's bowled a last over, final delivery of a last over, forcing a tie and a super over to win a game. He's got a hat-trick this tournament. He's doing it all. He caught everybody's attention last year's edition, and this year has been in front runner in terms of picking wickets for his team. There you see the cutters coming into play. Prajit Modi is quite competent behind the stumps. It's like a faster off spin there across the batsman. It's a difficult pace to bat against. And a difficult length to get a measure of. Oh, once again, this is a ball that pitches on the leg stump but moves across the body, and at a length which is neither too back and not too front for the batsman. And Roshan Primus just about reaching out with a dead bat, the ball taking outside edge. On cue, Harmeet Singh bringing a slip. If there was a slip, that was a sure shot chance there. That's hit on the pads in front of the stumps, but that pitched outside the leg stumps, so clearly a stifled appeal from the bowler. This is a very lively wicket. Honestly, looking at it, with the kind of bowling that Silicon Valley strikers have, they would be hoping a score of 120 would be enough for them to put a match together here. For the moment, it looks like a tall order from here. The big runs are rare to come by. As we say that, the sun is belting down now. The clouds are moving away, and the wonderful mountains on the right hand side showing up. The east end of the ground is wonderfully backdropped by this series of mountains as Fani Simhadri ends his second over, and at the end of 15 the score is 89 for 4.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
So Rishi Bhardwaj with a change of ends, coming up with the last over now. Both these batsmen, Ifer and Primus, one of them have to go big now. Once again, Rishi Bhardwaj tight outside the off stump, slight misfield there by Rohan Pasanpalli, who's an incredibly swift fielder. There was a rare misfield by him, quickly giving a single. Roshan Primus is 2 from 6 balls, so obviously he's going to make some amends, would try something big. Raymond Reifer has till now just contained himself for singles, not wasting too many balls, but at this rate, at this time of the match, a strike rate of 100 isn't going to bother the Thunderbolts. The run rate is now below 6. They're doing it wonderfully well. And that's outside the off stump, sitting up. Adam Crosswaith on the long on fence. The talismanic fielder, the ever experienced Adam Crosswaith, who somehow doesn't age. He's been playing for ages now for different leagues and state teams across Australia and now here in the United States. Brings in an ocean of experience with him, and he's just been such a safe fielder in whatever position that he's fielded. Just a single from that run. Incredible commitment from the Seattle Thunderbolts. Compared to their campaign last season, they kept on chopping, changing, trying to find the best combination. And the franchise went in this year to make some very well thought out changes in the sun and draft picks. Brought in a good mix of experience and youth. Akhilesh Borugam, Adam Crosswaith, James Crosswaith. And suddenly that team looks very well balanced this time. They have batted well when they've batted first. They have chased well when they've batted second. Their bowling has looked very measured. They've got all bases covered. And they're bringing their A game today to this contest. Once again the wicket, and masterfully used by Rishi Bhardwaj. A wonderful spell from him, giving just a few runs in his last over, and finishing with a spell of 19 from his 4 overs. It's 91 for 4 after 16.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Funny Simadri going to start the 17th over. Still the 100 has not been achieved for strikers. I get the feeling something's going to give here. Once again, Simadri bowling his ever reliable cutters. The ball moving across the right-hander. It's a difficult length to play. The ball sort of hits up from a shot of length. It doesn't give the batsman enough room to get under the ball for a big shot. Neither does it give enough room for the batsman to go on the back foot and play a sizzling cut shot. It's just the batsman could do is a dab or a steer. Oh, this time to the left-handed Reifer, who plays his ramrod straight. The ball kisses the stumps on the non-striking side and trickles to the long-on fence where Shadley Shalkwick does the cleanup. Just a single again. These singles are not going to cause any worry whatsoever to the Thunderbolts. They wouldn't want the strikers to get too far away from where they are right now. But from this stage, they would be happy if the opposition is restricted to under 120. They would count of themselves with a great opportunity to make a match of this one. And this time it was a rather short pitch ball, sat up nicely, and that sort of is a get out of jail for a shot for Primus, who bangs it between the mid-wicket and the square leg fielder, the Crosswaith brothers there, for a boundary. A much needed boundary, came after a long period of time. Oh, this time played up in the air. 3 fielders, including the bowler, converging upon the ball, safely falling in the real estate between them. Just a single, and as we predicted, risks being taken by the batsmen now. They need to do that. They've lost 4 wickets. There's 6 wickets in the shed now. So they need to take the risk. It's not that they've lost too many wickets. They still have batsmen to come. And this time Rifer heading towards the mid wicket and wonderfully grabbed there at the mid wicket fence. A wicket taken by Seattle Thunderbolts. Every time that there was a little bit of momentum, intention, shots being taken by strikers, Thunderbolts have answered them with the wicket. That's been the story thus far. Funny Samadri once again in the wickets. Here the franchise invited so far. They bowled under a heavy cloud cover. It was overcast, it was windy, the wicket was responsive, and they had wonderful power play, picking up the two openers of the Silicon Valley Strikers. And they haven't been able, the Silicon Valley Strikers haven't been able to get away with that after that start. Here's Shadley with with the final over of the innings. The strikers are going to go for everything that is going to come their way. Rahul Jariwala and Saurabh Netravalkar. Rahul Jariwala is on strike. He's picked up 2 of the very first ball from Shadley. 114 at this point. The run rate is still below 6. There's a lot to cheer for the spectators here. Here's Shadley. That was a full tilt, lifted by Jariwala. Bhagadam crosswith. That's a well-needed 6. That would come as a huge breath of respite for the strikers. They're hoping for some big hits here to take their score to some degree of respect. They would know that the conditions with the sun coming out might be a little easier for the batters in the afternoon. While they do have the firepower in bowling, they would want a little more cushion for them. And they have touched that 120 score now, which would be their first. And here's the second one. Rahul Jariwala, straight over the bowler's head, just about a few meters away from the commentary box. Another 6. Now that's given a lot to think for the Thunderbolts captain. Against a run of play, 2 rather ordinary deliveries from Shadley. This is a wicket where the slower balls have been very difficult to hit. Fani Simadri has used the slower ball to a great advantage. All the spinners have got a lot of purchase, have not given any momentum to the batters, but Shadley with his speed is probably giving them that. Now that's again outside the Austin, well bowled, not giving too much room. A swing and a miss. $126 for 7. Two more balls to go. How many more can the strikers add to their total? They would certainly hope in going beyond 130. Oh, that's played over the third man, a fortuitous edge, and the ball trickles out of the boundary line for 4. These are absolute gold dust for strikers now. Rahul Jariwala bringing in some well-intentioned hoiks, and it doesn't matter whether they take the edge and come. It doesn't matter how they come, as long as they are rattling the scoreboard. They would appreciate. That wanted to dominate the conditions, and the conditions were really in favor of them. They had an overcast weather. They didn't have. They had a breezy morning. It was a first usage of a new wicket that has been curated for this game. There was a lot in offer for the bowlers, and the bowlers did use it. Strikers started rather timidly. They lost Zahid Zakhil after a slightly sedate start. And a lot was expected from Unmuk Chand. He was the biggest draw from that batting lineup, but he couldn't get going. There was a little bit of desperation as he played a couple of airy-fairy shots, losing his wicket to the second one with a great catch from Adam Crosswaith. Then there was a bit of a partnership between Shreyan Jayasuriya and Pranay Suri. They put on a little over 50 runs. Jayasuriya getting out for 28 of 31, much below the strike rate that he has batted with all through this tournament. Pranay Suri top scored with 34. Then there were a couple of low scores from Raymond Rifer and Russian Primus. Gary Graham scored 25 of 10. He's probably was the impetus that the strikers needed. Rahul Jariwala. In fact, it was Gary Graham who at the end was hitting those shots. It was not Rahul Jariwala. My bad. And Saurabh Netravalkar just was a spectator from the other end. Gary Graham scored 2 4s and 2 6s. He gave that impetus towards the end. 130 for 7. From the bowling, there was only 5 bowlers used by Thunderbolts. They went with 5 bowlers, and they did their job pretty well towards the end. Shadley, 4 overs, 2 for 35. Akhilesh Bodugam, 2 for 22 from 4. Rishi Bhardwaj, none for 19. He kind of cast a kind of web around the opposition. Harmeet Singh, as miserly as ever, 1 for 19. Fani Simadri, again amongst wickets, 2 for 31. So a lot to cheer for Thunderbolts. The conditions seem to be improving out here. It would be an interesting battle in the afternoon. The roller is on the wicket. The wickets, there's a lot of dust in there too. It's a wicket that's favouring the slower ball. If the bowlers are giving it a bit of a rip, it is coming, stopping and coming. It's getting a bit of turn. The faster bowlers are easy to play on this wicket. It would be a fascinating game in the second innings as the Thunderbolts comes to chase down to 130. We'll take a short break and join you as the action continues from the Tollgate Farm Park here in North Bend, Greater Seattle area.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
All right. chase to begin. Prajit Moody and Andreas House, the two openers for Thunderbolt. And they are chasing 131 to win this game. And if they do, they will be on top of the points table. The Thunderbolts are at 14 points after 8 games. The Strikers are at 16. But Thunderbolts are a healthier net run rate. So if they equate 16 points after this, they should be taking the lead in the Western Division points table, as we are all set for the action to begin. The big draw on Thunderbolts batting always has been Andreas Gauss. He is an exciting batsman to watch. Generates a lot of excitement and energy across viewership for minor league cricket. There's a lot of people who follow Thunderbolt, especially Andreas Gauss batting. And oh, that's a tentative run there, a bit of a chance. 130 is not a big score, and Strikers are definitely going to create a lot of verbal energy out there for their players, close in to put some added pressure on the Thunderbolts batting. They're going to make it seem like they're chasing 150 plus. As I mentioned prior to the innings break, the conditions looking a little better now with the sun coming out. The breeze is still there, so there's going to be a little bit of movement. So far, there's nothing overtly visible. Oh, that's played in the air, and the first wicket down. The kind of start that Strikers would have wanted. Saurav Netravalkar, their strike bowler, doing what is expected out of him to pick up the first wicket. So the Prajit Moody going for a very shot there, and the mid-off fielder circling to pick up an easy catch. That's probably not the kind of start Thunderbolts wanted. A wicket down with not much on the board. In fact, nothing on the board.
It's on. Frozen. It's on. Frozen. Frozen. Yeah. Yep, working now. No. Yeah.
Saurav Netravalkar, someone who's played a lot of cricket around the world. He's played in India. He's been international for the United States cricket team. Has a lot of experience there, and he's put all his experience in the line here to pick up the first wicket with no score on the board for Thunderbolts. Not the kind of start they would have wanted. So James Crossway is the new batsman in. Oh, that's a lovely shot there from Andreas Gauss. Played it towards the third man. Played it with a measured approach. Didn't go hard at it, just placed it into the gap. He's off the mark, so is the Thunderbolts. As James Crossway for the first time taking strike. Shirt number 319. He sort of came midway so far for Thunderbolts. Didn't play the first few games, but since the time he's come in, he's added a bit of solidity to the top order of this Thunderbolts lineup. Apart from Andreas Karos, it's Rishi Bhardwaj and James Crossway. They played some wonderful knocks, and that's been turned towards the mid wicket, and a single picked up. So far, no much movement there, and at the end of the 1 over, it's 2 for 1. I'm going to continue. He's all set with his guard. And that's on the leg stumps, nicely tucked away towards the square leg fence. The batsman quickly scrambled for 2. This is going to be a fascinating chase for Thunderbolt. They've been a pretty resolute batting team so far. They've had a few initial hiccups in few games, but their middle order has been solid with these two, and add to that Adam Crossway. They have Jagrup Raina. They have Rishi Bhardwaj to come, who's had a fantastic tournament so far. And then, of course, there's Harmeet Singh. And this time, James Crossway picks up Raymond Rifer on the half volley and plays it above the bowler's head for a wonderful boundary. The first of the innings for Thunderbolt. As expected, there is absolutely no swing, and it's coming at a pace which is easy for the batsman to line up and play straight batted. As I mentioned, James Crossway has always, since the time he's come into the side, he's brought in so much of a solidity to the top order batting.
Mahidar.
Your shirt is causing. Raifa. Oh, that's a slower ball. That's a better bet on this wicket. We're seeing that every time a bowler has rolled his fingers on the seam of the ball, it's caused a bit of problem. It's caused doubts in the minds of the batsmen. Whenever the ball comes either straight or the wicket, it comes at a more predictable pace. It's easier for the batsmen to line up and go with their shots. Whenever it's comes at a variable pace from the wicket, that's a better bet to bowl, especially for the faster bowlers here. There was a bit of a cutter from Raifa and clearly foxed James again. This time it's a fuller ball on the offside. Takes a bit of outside edge on the ground, no harm done. A single.
That's the only straight one, right? So if it goes off, then we are not able to start stable. Okay. So
Horse was in on the non-strikers end, no harm done. There's a lot of intensity out there, and definitely the energy is high. Strikers know they don't have much to defend out here, so they will have to put in all their energy in creating chances. Sometimes the energy on the field can do wonders in terms of creating doubts in the running between the wickets, creating a run out here and there. That was a ball outside the off stump, well left by the batsman. Couple of overs done here, and the score is 10 for 1.
Dude, camera 2 is not working. That's the only straight one, yeah.
Saurabh Netravalkar all set for his second over here. 10 for 1, Thunderbolts. We once again apologize for the technical glitches that we have been facing here. The team has been working tirelessly, but there have been some unavoidable technical glitches that have been there since the beginning. We've had indifferent visuals, and we've also had a loss of audio for a significant part of the match. But be rest assured the team is working hard to get you the pictures of this significant contest in the context of the tournament. 10 for 1 here, Seattle Thunderbolts, third over in progress. The Silicon Valley Strikers scoring 130 from their first innings. And they would be, and Strikers were thankful for that innings from Gary Graham at the end. Oh, that's a bit of effort ball from Saurabh. Pitched in the front, trying to get a bounce. So the ball didn't bounce too much. So it came at a fairly playable height for House. But clearly makes him go and wonder what happened with the wicket, because he would I've hoped with that kind of an effort the ball come at a slightly higher height, but it did not bounce so much. So this wicket has a bit of mystery in it. Every time the bowlers have dug into the wicket, they've got something out of it. In this occasion, the bowler did not get the bounce they were intending to get. Now this time a shot of length, a wonderful cut shot out there. Played between the two cover square the offside fielders, piercing them smoothly there. Nicely done. A classic Andreas Haas clear drive, 4 runs. It's incredible to see the kind of spectators and the kind of community engagement we're seeing here today. Members of the community, lots of children. It's great to see the next generation taking interest in this sport. Saurabh, that's a question. That's a poke at a ball that came across, a classic left-handed delivery to a right-handed batsman, going across, and little play and a miss from Kaus. It was at an unplayable length, got committed into the stroke, and the ball sort of missing the outside edge. Beaten all ends up. It's always a prized wicket, Andreas Kaus. The opposition come hard at him and he takes up the challenge more often than not. This time in the offside. Plays it sedately towards Mukchand, who comes from the gully to field. That's the end of the 3rd over. As Thunderbolts are on 14 for 1.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
They are trying too much. It's like then
on the eastern side as we get set for the 4th over. It's Raymond Rifer into James Crossway. And that's played up in the air over the mid-off area. And that's going to cruise outside the boundary for 4. Once again, he's a busy player, James. He comes in and very rarely has a moment of pause. He keeps on looking. He's always in the lookout for some frantic runs. Picks up the gauntlet just to ensure that the run rate is moving along. This time a fuller ball on the leg stump, and that's been crossed along for an easy single. The conditions are wonderful at this point for batting. A little bit of overcast and wind that was probably giving the bowlers a bit of an advantage in the morning has subsided now. So it's a good deck for the batsman to dig in and score some runs. It's played steered down to the 3rd man boundary by Haas for a couple of runs. Thunderbolts are doing it well at this point. They know they don't have to take enough risks here. Their asking rate to begin with wasn't astronomical. It was very, very gettable. At this point, they're batting just below or just thereabouts of 5 runs per over. And they know they have enough opportunities ahead to hike the scoring. As Raymond there again on the leg side, and Klaus tucking in towards a square leg for a single. There is absolutely no need for unnecessary risks to be taken. The batsmen can wait for the loose balls, and they definitely are going to be some coming their way. At this point, except for Saurabh, Netravalkar, Raiford has not been posing many tough questions to the batsmen. This time on the leg side, easy take for James Crossway, who swivels on a ball that was short of length, coming on a hit me height for him on the outside the leg stump, and he just swiveled hard over the short fine leg fielder for 4. So runs coming easily at this point. Andreas Kaus, who usually is the aggressor at the beginning, since he's got James Crossway and Rishi Bhardwaj to play along, he's got able partners in them who also take a lot of initiative in pushing the score rates high. So that kind of eases the pressure on Kaus. The team understands that he being the front runner as scorer, as a batter in their side, the longer he stays, it augurs well for them. The ball having disappeared in the thickets in the square leg and fine leg area. It's a momentary pause in the game at this point. That gives you a wonderful glimpse of that eastern side mountain, and you would understand what I've been lamenting all across. A while back, there was a whole blanket of cloud that you can see is just about on the tip of the mountain now. It was covering half of that. It is a spectacular sight. It reminds us of the Table Mountains in South Africa. And this is Mount Si in the Seattle region, and that makes this wonderful Tollgate Park as definitely one of the most picturesque grounds in this country. It's great to have the cricket minor league come into this spot. We've been wanting the cricket to come to this spot. Have not been able to come because of inclement weather, but finally we are here as the game resumes with a single to end that over. So 4 overs gone. It is 27 for 1.
Zooper is the world's most powerful field service management solution to work your way and drive more impact. As the most flexible and customizable app for your field operations, Zooper is field service your way. Learn more at zooper.co.
So you go up that mountain wall, and then after that it's basically like rock climbing to the top.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a hiker's paradise, and so there's a lot of nature in the Pacific Northwest, and people like their life outdoors. They want to do a lot of activities, hiking being one of the main things. There's a lot of lakes in here. There are a lot of mountains, and Sai is probably one of those experiences that hikers flock to. I've been told that it takes a couple of hours to reach towards the top, and at the peak there's a little additional experience called the haystack that takes an additional hour, so keeps the hikers busy for the entire day if they want to have a good day like this one, to go and enjoy hiking. As the strikers start with the 5th over, the first ball itself is played in the air, and that was a bit of a risky, for a moment the fielder was in, it seemed as if it will end up as a catch, but no. Once after dropping, it moved away from the fielder outside the boundary for 4. James Crossway continues his charge. He's been, like I mentioned, a busy player. Takes his chances on the first few deliveries of the over, doesn't let a bowler settle down. He's already on 22 with 4 boundaries, as it is Roshan Primus, the new bowler, greeted with a boundary of his first ball. Well, that was a bouncer, or rather an attempted bouncer, came at a height just slightly above the waist, as James is asking question to the umpire on the leg side, whether it was above the waist, warranting an extra, and declined by the umpire with adequate reasoning. Some conversation there between Unmuk Chand and the umpires. Roshan Primus. One of the beauties of cricket in the United States, I've been observing a lot of recreational cricket over the years. And it's great to see it's all culminating into this domestic tournament of minor league cricket that's brought all the talent from across the country, with these two conferences, Atlantic and Pacific, divided further into 4 divisions, 26 teams. It's a melting pot of talent from different parts of the world. We have players from the subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. We have players from Australia, New Zealand. We have a lot of Caribbean talent in at display. There's players from England, players from upcoming associate nations as well. And there's, of course, cricketing talent from United States who are born and brought up and who are picking up the game as the game gets its more foothold out here. It's a fascinating story, the way the cricket is coming up in this country, and minor league is a huge milestone in the journey of building the national infrastructure of cricket here. It's wonderful to see the diversity of talent here at display. Great story of the two captains of these two sides, Harmeet Singh and Unmuk Chand, compatriots in the 2012 Under-19 Cricket World Cup for India. Chand was the captain, Harmeet was his lieutenant. Both had a competitive innings in their respective domestic sides in India before giving up the game and coming on to become here, as there's a lot of cheer going up in the ground as that shot eluded the diving third man fielder for a much needed boundary here for Thunderbolts. Runs coming thick and fast, and Roshan Primus quite visibly frustrated with that fielding effort out there, as you would have expected just a single, but it resulted into a boundary. As I was talking about, Unmuk Chand and Harmeet Singh, compatriots in 2012, played a bit of domestic cricket in India, retired to come here and become huge draws, skippering their respective sides today, pitted against each other. Wonderful story. There's a lot they're doing to bring their expertise and also fuel into the cricketing system of the United States. This time again played in the air. Nobody in that region of the square leg. As the square leg fielder comes around, a couple of runs there for Andreas Kaus. This is a great opportunity for Thunderbolts to put one across the mighty strikers. It's 38 for 1 after 5.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस, इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट में क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
So spin introduced for the first time, as this is the final over of the power play. The run rate is about 7.6. The asking rate was about 6.5. So they are well above the asking rate at this point, doing it very well. And as I had mentioned in the earlier as well, on this wicket, if the bowlers are bowling at their at a higher pace without too much of a variation or without bringing the slower ball into play, it is going to be an easy pick for the batsman to score easier runs. And so Rifer and Primus bowled at a much more easier pace to the batsman, which gave both James Crosswaith and Andreas Cause a lot of opportunities to score, and score they did. So it'd be interesting to see how they play the spinners and what kind of different questions that the spinners ask from here on. So it's Srinivas Raghavan now. First time, left arm orthodox spinner. With the kind of score, I would have anticipated a spin at a slip there. This time on the leg side, swept hard, and it kind of falls into the deep square leg fielder, who comes and grasps that catch. And against the run of play, James Crosswaith is out. Immediately a success for a spinner. As I said, every time a slow bowler or a faster bowler bowling slow deliveries have come into play, it has caused opportunities for wickets. I think a little too early for a sweep shot to be played. That ball bounced after spinning. So a premeditated shot there from James Crosswaith, taking the upper edge, lobbing up in the air, and the deep square leg fielder judged it very well to pick up a good catch. So the second wicket down for the Thunderbolts at a score of 40. It's 40 for 2. Beg your pardon, it's 38 for 2. James Crosswaith just out for 22. This is also a wicket which we saw the way the strikers played in the morning. They did get bogged down because they were trying to score this runs with a straighter bat. This isn't a wicket that is going to give you many runs if you're trying to be innovative square of the wicket, because there are variable bounces, especially against a spinner. It will stop and come, and there's a chance of getting up in the air. We saw a couple of switch hits in the innings of strikers that fetched them a few boundaries, but it was fraught with risk. Out here, Rishi Bhardwaj, he's having a good tournament as a batsman, and he's a good player of spin as well. But a better bet to play the spinner on this wicket is straight off the wicket, not as much on the square side. And if you see there's a strong square of the offside field there, that's the kind of line that the bowler will try to bowl, just on the offside, just on or outside the off stump, with three fielders square of the wicket, one a shot, a third man, gully and cover. And the hope would be they would be stopping the single. If the batsman wants to pierce the gap, he would choose to do so. But purely that was outside the off stump, will be called outside the leg stump, will be called wide. The ball will trickle down towards the boundary. Couple of runs will be called wide, and probably took a little thin edge of the bowler because no signals from the umpire indicating a bye or a leg bye. So that puts Rishi Bhardwaj off the mark. Beg your pardon, Andreas Cause. Those 2 runs. A bit of misfield there by Primus on the boundary. It's a couple of runs to House out there. 43 for 2. Thunderbolts. Srinivas Raghavan, a successful over thus far. 5 runs of this over and the wicket. Well controlled over there. So after 6, it's 43 for 2.
How did a global retail pharmacy increase orders by 100%? How did a multinational bank build a #1 rated digital app? With people who help leading companies transform through technology. Engineer a better future. Discover how at ust.com.
Yeah. Our batting is much stronger than it was last year. To continue, he conceded 10 runs of his first over. Rishi Bhardwaj taking strike. To open his attack, and that was an effort ball again. And this time getting the bounce that he was intending as a bowler. Rishi Bhardwaj shorter in stature, the ball came slightly higher. There is a wide gap between the third man and cover point boundary that he wanted to exploit. Didn't get any touch. It was a bit risky. Could have potentially taken a bit of edge. Oh, this time timed it well, but again fielded well by Shehan Jayasuriya there and at the cover point. And that's straight play to the cover point. That's a question that was being asked by the bowler again and again. He was bowling that line relentlessly, wanting the batsman to play that place. It was third ball in consecutively, and Rishi Bhardwaj continued to follow his temptation, this time playing it up in the air and straight into the hands of Shehan Jayasuriya, the gully. So third wicket down for Thunderbolts. And that puts a lot of pressure coming here. 131 to win. It's 43 for 3, Thunderbolt. They do have a fairly long batting lineup. They still have Adam Crosthwaite, who's walking in, very, very experienced campaigner. They do have Captain Harmeet Singh, Shadley Van Schalkwyk, Jagrup Raina. So there's some batting in the tank, but they would need a partnership from here. As the asking rate is probably not the question, and on the other hand, strikers. It was a great decision to persist with Roshan Primus. So a significant point there for Unmukt Chand. He knew what he was doing, and they persisted with a certain line, bowling short, coming at a hittable height outside the off stump, asking the batter to go and fetch that big gap in the offside, which Rishi Bhardwaj persisted to pursue with and finally lost his wicket. And this time, Adam Crosthwaite is a very experienced campaigner. He has seen it all. He's been playing competitive cricket for such a long time. We've seen him operate on the field, whether it's as a fielder, as a co-strategist for Harmeet Singh and the leadership think tank, as a batter earlier in the tournament. He definitely oozes experience. Someone who's going to always be watchful in the balls that need to be watchful, and wherever there is an opportunity to make an impact, he would go after that. That's the way we have seen him play. But incredible consistency here from Roshan Primus. He is bowling a difficult length here. He's bowling a short of length that is coming up at a difficult height for batsmen to go after, but that was a little too much of a shot from a length perspective. Came at a hittable area, and Adam Crosswaith pulled it towards the long on for a single. So that's the 7th over done, and the score is 44 for 2. 44 for 3.
1, 2, 3.
The run rate has fallen now to 6.29. After that economical over from Roshan Primus. Successful over at that. He's from 1 for 11 from his 2. Srinivas Raghavan starting his 2nd over. Last 2 overs, the Thunderbolts losing 2 wickets. That's kind of put a bit of a spanner in their wheel. These are probably the 2 most experienced batters at the crease at this point. And they would expect, the Thunderbolts would expect some watchful period here till the batsmen are well set, and they would start taking some calculated risk. On the other hand, the strikers are looking to strangle the opposition here. You can see the captain Mukchand is animated. He's egging his players to get a move on here. Oh, that's a lot of movement by Adam Crosswaith. He knew that Srini was bowling with a plan of strangling the batsman on the offside. He moved outside the off stump, exposing his stumps, but he was absolutely sure what he was doing. Paddled his way towards the leg side, the long leg region, and 3 runs. Not sure if it's the stage where they need to take the risk, but then again, they will have to keep the game moving, because a long duration of not scoring too many runs will add to the scoreboard pressure there, which can be adverse on Andreas Gauss, who's the kind of player who wants some momentum there. When that doesn't happen, he wants to play some expansive shots. More often than not, that causes his downfall. And that's where the experience of Adam Crosswaith comes into play. He will be a batsman. He will make the bowlers think, because he constantly moves on his crease, and that's a difficult proposition to handle, especially when a bowler is trying to settle down on a tight line and length. Clearly, because of that premeditated swivel, previous ball, this time the ball was bowled on the stumps, and he easy single to end the over. Eight overs gone, 49 for 3.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
That's the picturesque Toll Farm Park ground here in North Bend, Greater Seattle area. And a fascinating game of cricket and play between the Silicon Valley Strikers and Seattle Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts chasing a score of 130. Those who are joining in now, 3 wickets lost by the Thunderbolts. Roshan Primus bowling his 3rd. A wonderful weather at this point of time. The sun is belting down. A great exhibition of, or a great day for a good game of cricket. And indeed, it's turning out to be a wonderful game of cricket, as was expected from these two teams. Once again, to remind you that these are the two table toppers from the Western Division of Toyota Minor League Cricket, presented by Sunoco. Play and a miss from Andreas Haas. Consistency, thy name is Roshan Primus at this point. He is continuing to ask questions in that slightly outside the off-stump line, short of length. He isn't changing that for one bit. He's not bowling anything full that would give an opportunity for the batsman to get underneath and play a drive shot. At this point, it's coming at a more sort of indifferent length where the batsman needs to just push at it rather than driving at it. This time again, coming into the batsman, and Haas could just pushes it to the cover, no run. The winner today would decide who leads the points table for the Western Division. Whether it's the Strikers who will continue to lead it, or will the Seattle Thunderbolts for the first time gain lead on the points table. Oh, that's a little bit of a shimmy on the outside the leg stump. Made room, and for the first time the length was a little fuller. And probably it's that little movement from the batsman that caused the bowler to, for the last moment, to change the length. And that opened up the offside boundary, and Haas was able to scoop it above the two close-in fielders for an effortless 4. A boundary that was much needed for Thunderbolts to move along. Once again, the ball's lost in the thicket. There's a slight hold of play as the Thunderbolt batsmen take a little break for a much earned, well-earned drink. The score is 56 for 3, and we are in the 9th over. I'm joined here by Jagan Nimani, who has been instrumental in getting this ground set up. So Jagan, tell us more about this ground and what's the importance of today?
Oh, it's been, Tollgate Farm Park. It's been many years of labor coming to fruition this day. We've been working on getting this ground up for cricket for about 3 years. Took 2 years to get the permissions in and get the ground leveled and get it ready. And last year, around June, July, we had about 250,000 pounds. 250,000 pounds of soil from Sacramento shipped to our area, and we basically took that and constructed 2 really good grounds. One is for minor league, that the one that we are seeing here, and there's one on the other side for youth. So 2 beautiful grounds we created, and since then there's been rain and weather elements that have been that have not allowed us to play here. First time around, we've got to a place where we're able to play today, and the pitch has worked out very well. It's played really well.
Indeed.
For a pitch that's the first game on this pitch, it has really played well, and we are so well supported by our local politicians and our local legislators. So we had from King County today morning, Claudia Balducci, Sarah Perry, and Pete Von Power, who came and inaugurated the pitch from King County. And from Bellevue City, we had Jeremy and we had Janazan, and they both inaugurated the pitch today. And we had from Bellevue School Board, Jane Aris, she was here as well. So we had good support from the legislators of our area to kind of showcase that there's a great ground, it's a great initiative, cricket is welcome here, and we're really happy about that.
Fantastic. No, I totally agree. I mean, the wicket has played remarkably well, and it kind of underscores the point that when we bring in the best condition, the game suddenly elevates to another level. We saw the bowlers get every bowler get a different kind of purchase, which was so different from playing in artificial surface. It's a huge plus point for taking domestic cricket to another level, especially for this region. So it's so much talent in display. This is a great initiative and great addition to the overall infrastructure.
Yeah, definitely. And we get to play on such lovely ground, both ends in a symmetrical, huge ground. And then so many people turn up. We have our furry friends out here, quite a few furry friends out here, as well as we've got a good amount of people just turn out, with their picnic blankets, little chairs, just enjoying the sun. It's beautiful. What, like 70 degrees right now?
Yep.
Yeah, so perfect weather for cricket. And all this is happening, in a very good day today. So
absolutely.
And we got beautiful picturesque mountain views out there. Mount Si up there that you can see on your screen right now. And, other mountains with their own cloud cover. So couldn't be better.
Absolutely. Now that I have you here, talk us through a little bit about the youth cricket as well, because I know that minor league youth cricket is going to happen in Houston. So talk us through about how's the youth talent coming up, because you are associated with the whole talent development part of Major League Cricket as well. So talk us through how's the youth system coming through.
The youth system is coming up very well. So starting Monday, we will have 11 teams of MILC youth, minor league youth, in Houston, and the 5 teams from Atlantic Conference, 6 teams from Pacific Conference, including Seattle Thunderbolts and Silicon Valley Strikers, play from 25th to 29th. That's a lovely ball. Well played, very well placed, right in the gap for a 4. Looks like Andres Gauss is in a mood to kind of throw away or make all the balls go into that farm next doors.
Yeah, absolutely. He is eyeing that area at this point to make sure that he gains maximum output from there.
Yeah, definitely he is doing that. So as I was saying, minor league youth is going to start. And what's going to happen is in minor league youth, we'll have 6 teams from Pacific Conference, 5 teams from Atlantic Conference. Each team will play 4 matches in a round-robin fashion from 25th to 28th. 28th evening, which is a Thursday, we'll have minor league conference finals, Atlantic finals, and Pacific Conference finals. And Friday morning, which is the 29th, we're going to have minor league youth finals. And there's a lot of exciting things that we're going to do after that.
Oh,
again, same shot. Is it the same result? Again, same result. 3 fours in a row.
Absolutely.
All into the forearm. Looks like, Andres Gauss really likes the forearm out there. Luckily, we have some kids out there to cut the ball out before we lose it again. But beautiful batting from Andreas. So going back to the youth, so we'll have minor league youth finals, and we have a lot of things planned out for minor league youth and after the minor league youth finals. So, for example, we're gonna have what do you call high performance camp, where we'll be calling about 24 to 40 kids to come into the high performance camp, and we'll have level 4 coaches from there to come and coach these kids and get them ready for some international matches they're gonna play. Yeah, so there'll be a team, MLC under-19 team, that will be selected, and they'll go to India and play against some of the Indian states under-19 teams. So that's amazing. Yeah, so they will get that exposure, they'll get that experience, they will know how to play in different conditions again. So placed well for a single.
The question that that comes to my mind is, how's this minor league important as a feeder system to the seniors minor league tournament? Because I do know that some of the players who have played minor league, like Sahil or Jagrup, are going to feature in the youth system as well. So, and there are going to be new players as well there. So how are you thinking? Is that a feeder pool to the main tournament?
Yes, yeah. So what we call it is a pathway tournament, if you will, right? So pathway tournament in the sense that the players who play here. So if you look at the minor league, you look at Jagrup, you look at Rohan Posanapalli, right, from Seattle Thunderbolts, if you will, or Rahul Jariwala from Silicon Valley Strikers. They are not. They are getting very good chances and proving themselves, but they are not the stars. So minor league youth is the opportunity for them to become the stars and really do well, put up big scores, and be kind of known for that. And show to the minor league owners on how they stack up against their under 21 and under 19 peers across the country. And that is the whole point of minor league youth. So we're really excited about that to give kids that option, that opportunity. And at MLC, we are very serious about putting the pathways for the kids. So what we did MLC Junior Championship, which we are in the second year of, from under 11 all the way to under 17. We have all age categories playing. Then we have minor league youth, which based on what we do in MLC Junior Championship,
that's a wicket there. I would have to stop you there. So that's something that Adam Crosswaith is not probably very happy about it, but there was no hesitation from the umpire giving him leg before wicket, and you clearly see Andreas Gauss, the non-striker, and not very happy with that decision as well, indicating that was probably a little higher on the pad, missing the stumps on the top, but umpire was well convinced immediately to give that. So against a run of play, a wicket lost for Seattle Thunderbolts, and that's something that would give a lot of energy to the strikers. 68 for 4.
Yeah, that's a hard wicket. You know, we did want to kind of keep building that partnership out there, and we need that partnership right now to kind of carry through. So it's hard to kind of lose Adam at the point of time when we looked like as if we were going to build a partnership. But that's the game. Umpire's decision is final, and so Adam goes back, and in comes Harmeet to be playing along with Andreas. So yeah, coming back to the youth, so we did MLC Junior Championship, and from there we identified a lot of good kids and gave them opportunity to play throughout the year in multiple matches, multiple tournaments, and then finally come to a championship, win the championship, build the stats. And through that stats, we announced honors list for youth across all age categories, which is the top 5% of batters and bowlers were added to the honors list. And from there now, we have minor league youth. So performers out there in under 17 level are picked to come into minor league youth. And they get to perform at minor league youth at the under 19, under 21 level and show their talent to minor league owners. And hopefully they'll get picked next year.
Wonderful. Wonderful. It's great to see the kind of interest the next generation is having in a place. A lot of them, it is not probably the most prominent sport in this part, so many of them picking that sport purely as an inspiration from the generation prior to them, but a lot of them is just picking up the sport because they're seeing their friends playing around it. So it's great to see the next generation picking up, and we're getting a lot of talent being developed as a system. So huge amount of cheers to your team, Jagan, the kind of work that all of you are putting in, and augurs very well for the future for United States cricket.
Thanks a lot, and definitely at MLC we're very serious about developing the youth pipeline and making sure that the youth get enough opportunities to show their talent and their passion. So we'll keep continuing to work hard. We still have a long way to go, 100%. But hopefully, pretty soon you will see the pathway kind of chiseled in well, and kids will know, or youth players will know what they need to do in which championship and how to kind of realize their dream. And that is what we are shooting for.
Fantastic. That's Jagan Nimani. He's leading the talent development for MLC, Major League Cricket. We are all excited about the big Major League Cricket to begin next year. But there's a lot of work that's already happening at a grassroots level, building the future for tomorrow. And that's where the the age group cricket, the younger talent development that is happening, that is so enriching to see. It's all being fueled by the huge volunteer committee, volunteer team of volunteers across the country. It's a sport that does not generate a lot of revenue yet, but it's heartening to see how the passion of people and enthusiasts from this sport from various parts of the country, and how they are kind of fueling the journey of cricket. Jagan himself is probably one of those key passionate exponents of the game. He's brought cricket in his heart when he came to this country, and like him, so many people here are building the sport ground up. It's great to see so many youngsters taking up the sport, and augurs very well as the future of cricket in the United States. Coming back to the action here, a lot has happened. Like we mentioned, Adam Crosswaite's wicket came against a run of play that's kind of was a bit of a jolt to the entire progress the way Thunderbolts were going, and I will give a lot of confidence to the strikers now. Harmeet Singh, who's the all-rounder, who's had some few good innings. Andreas Gauss is carrying on. He's on 34 once again, holding the entire thing, entire innings in his hands. The midway stage, it's about 70 for 4 at this point. Gauss places this time to the deep cover point boundary for a quick single. Srinivas Raghavan has been the pick of the bowlers for strikers. 15 runs from his 3 overs, 2 wickets. As we have Pranay Suri, the 5th bowler from strikers. Like we said, spinners were always going to ask a lot of questions on this wicket. This is a very good wicket for slower bowlers. Even for the faster bowlers, when they've used the slower ball, they've used a bit of rip on the seam, they've got more purchase from the wicket. And this time it's outside the leg stump, swept very easily by Harmeet for a single. This is going to be one of those games which is not going to see anyone getting away with a hurry. You will have questions being posed by the bowlers. If the bowlers are disciplined on the stumps, they will get a few rewards here and there, and the batsmen will have to keep pushing for those singles and doubles. The boundaries are probably going to come, not come so thick and fast, and that's the end of the over. And the score is 72 for 4 at the end of 11. Srinivas Raghavan finishing his spell, coming for his 4th over. His 3 overs clearly put a lot of pressure on the Thunderbolts. He's bowling with some degree of, he's using his crease well, he's using the sides well, and he's putting some turn there. He would probably count himself a bit fortunate to get that wicket for Adam Crosswaite, which, although we don't have the benefit of action replays out here, but in the first instance looked to be a little going above the stumps, but the umpire is probably best placed to see whether it was hitting the stumps, and the umpire had no hesitation calling it, although both the batsman and the non-striker expressed a massive disinterest and non-alignment with that decision. As they say, never run on a misfield, but the bowlers, the batsman taking chance on that misfield by Srini Raghavan. Every run being cheered by the audience and the spectators here. As Jagan was mentioning, the community is here in good numbers. There's a lot of women, children, furry friends who are here, which is adding to the color and the spectacle of the occasion. Oh, this time it was a ball that was that sat and came up, and Harmeet Singh is not one to give in. He's always someone who's looking to play those big shots. Timed it well, and the ball went straight above the bowler's head, a few yards from where we are sitting in the comment box for a massive 6. That takes the score a bit forward, 80 for 4, 51 more to win. And one more, once in, 6 runs over mid-wicket. Huge one. From the moment it left Harmeet's bat, it had only one destination written all over it, with a bit of frequent flyer points on it. Lands behind the tent of the spectators for a huge 6. 2 sixes against Srinivas Raghavan. That's what you expect from Harmeet. He's not somebody to knock around. He's going to take things into his hands, move it along nicely to reduce the pressure. And pressure certainly is reduced a bit. 86 now. Oh, this time it's a little fuller. And he plays towards the mid-wicket, slightly up in the air. But after those 2 sixes, Mukchand had put his fielders on the boundary line. There was nobody close in field to pose any risk for that play. That shot played in the air, 2 runs to Harmeet. And the scores moved along, in fact galloped along to 88 now. So this is what Harmeet Singh, I've seen him do it a couple of times. He takes the best bowler on and scores some runs, and this time sweeps it along the ground. No risk whatsoever, single take into the square leg fence. That is an expensive over, and that ends the spell of Srini Raghavan. At the same time, gets a lot of fast runs for the Thunderbolts as they're 89 for 4 after 12. Rather around the wicket to Harmeet, who's trying to play the long handle now. Absolute throwing the kitchen sink at it and not getting much out of it. That's placed well again in the air, but there's nobody there in the closing field in the square on the offside. It's fielded in the cover boundary for a single. A bit of aggression from Harmeet Singh has ensured Andreas House can take a little lesser risk and look to play the innings out, but that's not going to be the script for House. He plays it in the air, again the run of things. Another wicket lost for Thunderbolts. What seemed like to be a script that Harmeet would go for the big ones and House would play it through. Turned out the other way as he went for a big shot as well, straight into the lap of the fielder in the long off boundary. And an unexpected wicket falling for Thunderbolt. While one may think that the Seattle was scoring some easy runs out there, but the strikers have been nipping around for the wickets. They're nibbling at it. They're getting wickets at a pace. The chance is on for themselves. So it's going to be a tight game as the last recognized batting pair at the wicket now. Harmeet Singh and the 2 all-rounders, Harmeet and Shadley. Or it's going to be Jagrup Raina. We'll have to see. We still have a couple of batsmen to come. Still Jagrup Raina to come after this. But the expectation here is going to be for batsmen to ensure they don't need much of a risk to be taken here. And they can pick and choose which bowlers they want to go after. Certainly Pranay Suri wasn't the bowler they wanted to go after because he's got a bit of spin and drift. Although that was a rather wrong choice for ball. Right-handed off-spinner bowling to a left-handed batter. The ball going off on Mukchand, putting a slip there. Shadley off the mark with a... Was it Shadley? Is it? A quick single there. Or you could see the intensity there from the fielders. There's a lot of egging and encouraging going on. They want to keep the pressure on. And that's again played in the air. Once again, a shot that was not required at this point. There was no need to play in the air, but the batsman succumbing to wickets lost in this over, and both the wickets can at best be termed as slightly responsible shots played by the batsman, which wasn't needed at this point. Well, that's the way the game goes. It's a game of uncertainties. Sometimes inexplicably, moments happen that changes the course of the game. So now we have the last sort of recognized batting pair on the ground as Jagrup Raina comes to join, and that was the end of the 13th over, as the Thunderbolts are now in a bit of a bother at 91 for 6.
1, 2, 3.
Both Andres Gause and Harmeet Singh would definitely go back and reflect how wise were those shots at this point of the game. But it's an impressive captaincy by Mukchand here. He's been calm and cool with his bowling changes. He's definitely bowled to a plan. He took the punt of finishing the overs of his spinners. He went with Srini Raghavan's 4th over that got him some runs, but in a way probably got the batsmen fired up. And the next over of Pranay Suri ended up inducing a few mistakes and a couple of wickets. The field has been, his field placing has been quite precise. Whenever he's actually attacked very well, he's brought in the slips, he's brought in a couple of close-in fielders. And more often the shots that have been caught by the fielders didn't have to move an inch. Shehan Jayasuriya, the 6th bowler to be introduced, as Jagrup Raina and Shadley crossover for 2 runs. That was perilously close to the boundary line. Fielded by the fielder, just inches out from the boundary, from the fence, and as we have been commenting all through the game, the slower bowlers, especially the spinners, get a lot of help on this wicket. It's not an easy place, easy pitch to read the speed of the ball, and if the bowlers can bring in some variations in play, there is a good chance of inducing mistakes. If the batsmen play for the flight, the ball after pitching comes at different paces, and they might actually end up playing in the air. So Mukchand bringing in Shehan Jayasuriya for his Off spinners here, and like we see out here, every run is being cheered by the local spectators here, egging the home team to cross this hurdle. There's a lot at stake for them for the first time in the history of the brief history of minor league cricket and the brief history of Seattle Thunderbolts. They have a good opportunity to be the table toppers for their respective division, for their division of the Western Division Pacific Conference. And that would add a lot of confidence going into the game tomorrow. Yeah, this is classic. This is not the classic T20 equation route here. There's a bit of test involved. There's a lot of condition coming into play. There's a lot of pressure of the situation, and that ball pitched and bounced and turned, and then Fox, the wicketkeeper as well, did not touch the bat. That's been called a bye. And that ends the over. 94 for 6, 95 for 6 after 14.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Pranay Suri, 2 overs, 5 runs, 2 wickets. Jagru Prana probably needing some reinforcement from the dugout. Once again, the field that Pranay Suri is bowling with is towards the deep field or the long off area. Gets off the mark. Oh, that's again played by Shadley, who's been in the situation a few times in the past. Brings in all his experience to finish games. He can. He has a great temperament to hang in there and wait for the bad balls and take the singles and twos to see through the game. Now this time, once again played in the air. A wicket. Another batsman who would go back and reflect on the judiciousness of that shot. That was a ball that did not come in, that pitched and turned into the batsman. The batsman had already created the space to play it on square of the wicket. Got committed into the shot, and the moving ball didn't help. Hit high on the bat, lobbed for a rather tame catch by Unmukh Chand. So the 7th wicket down for the Thunderbolts here. And that brings in the youngster Rohan Pasanapalli to bat. This is going to be a unique situation for Thunderbolts because their lower order has not been tested in this tournament thus far. The top 4 or 5 batsmen have done the job most of the time. Now, they still have about 34 runs to win this game. And And 34 runs in this stage looks like quite a mountain to climb. "97 for 7. It's incredibly mysterious to see that the Thunderbolts batters, especially some of their experienced batters, would go and reflect that they didn't take a leaf out of their own bowling, that the spinners needed to be played with a little bit of caution. As we see there, Shadley playing it defensively, not taking much of chances. Pranay Suri has done very well here. He's changed his pace very well. He's bowled a length that is not a very easy one to play here on this wicket. And certainly look at that. I mean, that's pitching and moving slightly, ever so slightly off the wicket, boxing the batsman. That's the end of the over. 100 for 7.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
It's going to charge for maybe 10 minutes. Overs gone, 100 for 7. 5 more overs to go, 31 runs. That's the beauty of this sport. Sometimes you get to see a huge belter of a match, and that does not cause so much of a pressure for chasing as much as these low-scoring games do. This is one such game. The asking rate was about 6.5, and we are seeing 7 wickets down. Strikers are by no stretch of imaginations out of this game. They've got themselves well and truly in this game. They know that they can, if they can pick up one more wicket here, they will count themselves well and truly home. They surely have the upper hand here at this point. The youngster Rohan Pusanapalli with Jagru, with Shadley, one Shalkwick. Huge amount of and I always feel there's a great opportunity for a youngster to come and stamp their authority on the game, as Saurabh Netravalkar is back in the attack, the leading bowler for strikers. That's what Saurabh does whenever he's been thrown the ball. He's relentless in the line and length. I'm immensely impressed with the leadership. He has read the conditions well, and he's brought his bowling changes with a fair degree of planning. Field placement has been good. That brings Shadley back on strike. A certain air of tension in the atmosphere here. That's not the case 2 or 3 overs back. A couple of overs of Pranay Suri has kind of changed the entire complexion of the game. Just a few overs back, we had the crowd up in their feet with a couple of sixes and a boundary from Harmeet Singh. We were hoping the match they would cruise to victory, but that's not the case. That's the way the sport goes. The ebbs and flows of cricket. Shadley won Shockwick. He's probably the best man of for the job at this point. A great head above his shoulders. Brings in all his experience to channel the speed of the game here now. That's a quick single push towards the closing field on the leg side. Picked up a single. Every run being cheered by the spectators here. The weather was held up. There was no rain. The clouds cleared up. The sun's come out. Ideal cricketing condition with slight breeze blowing, the temperature in pleasant 70s. "29 more runs to get for the Thunderbolts to win, and 3 more wickets to go for Strikers to make a match of this one." We had a great conversation earlier in the day about with Jagan Nimani, who leads the talent development for Major League the MLC, Major League Cricket. Great to see so many kids in here, and we have been showing you they have been involved in their own game of cricket in the sidelines here. That's how cricket needs to be celebrated. The community coming in all measures as another over ends here, and it's 103 for 7 after 16.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट में क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, मेरे घर लाने का।
So what a fantastic game Pranay Suri is having today. He top scored for the Strikers for 34, and now he's picked up 3 for 10 in his 3. He's coming up with his 4th over now, the 4th and last over. He's kind of changed the tide of the game completely for Strikers. That's exactly what the skipper ordered, and there are days when a player comes and they can't do anything wrong, and Pranay is having one of those. Probably has got one more, and this is 4th wicket. Rohan Pusanapalli, once again the ball's topping and coming out there. The batsman playing for a faster ball. The ball was slower than expected, lobbing up in the air, and the fielder taking a very competent catch on his own bowling. The 8th wicket down for the Thunderbolts. The Strikers are putting a strong foot forward to make a match, to gain 2 points out of this match.
A lot of kids and stuff. Boss, camera is off.
103 for 8.
A lot of kids and stuff. Nobody cut to it.
Yeah, I just kind of relate to it. I heard you say it. I relate to it. I relate to your conversation, how kids are playing. Oh, wonderful, wonderful bowling by Pranay Suri here. 4 wickets for 10 runs. He's kind of single-handedly changed his game on its head. When he came to bat, the strikers were tottering with 2 quick wickets. He hung in there, scored 34, and now he's come and picked up some wickets. Once again, Akhilesh Bodugam, the new batsman, first ball, the ball drifting away from him. He tries to play a drive, which is not the kind of shot that you would expect to be played in this on this wicket. And the ball was slightly in the air. There's a shot third man. And this time again, again, that's that unexpected shot for Pranay Suri. A well-deserved fifer for him. And again, a shot that would be questioned at the end of the day. Debrief session by the Thunderbolts. Well, was that the shot that would have played? With Shadley on the other side, the expectation from any other batsman here would be to either just hang in there or take a single and go, but that was not a shot for a single.
Under the camera, there is this.
The 9th wicket down here now. And a mountain to climb. 27 more runs to go there. The strikers are well and truly almost home. And it's that man, Pranay Suri. 5 for him. What a memorable game he's had. The player of the match so far by a mile. Let's put things at a bit of a context out here. $90 for 5, 91 for 6, 97 for 7, 103 for 8, 103 for 9. So the last man in, Fani Samadri, he's an experienced player. He would know that he needs to hang in there. He's played 2 defensive shots out there. I think there's a lot to think about there for the Thunderbolts players once they reflect on those innings. They would agree that there was a very little deception from the bowlers. They just ensured that they put the ball at the right hand. As you see on your screen there, the kids that we spoke about. Wonderful to see so many children on the ground. And they aren't playing baseball. They are not playing any other sport. They're playing cricket. It's great to see such uptake of the sport. That's what community interest for the sport means. That's the idea of minor league cricket, taking cricket to various corners of this country. And Pacific Northwest is always in the forefront of promoting the sport amongst the younger talent. And that's why we're seeing such fantastic batches of young, upcoming, talented cricketers from this region. As Raymond Reifer comes in back to Shadley, 1 shot quick now. 28 more runs to win this game for the Thunderbolt, and there's from 3 overs, and now it's the equation is fairly steep here because there's just 1 more wicket. Shadley takes a calculated risk onto the side, and there was a valiant effort from Shehan Jayasuriya on the long on fence. He got his fingertips to it right in front of us, but that resulted in absolutely no run because at this point Shadley has to go for hell for leather for getting runs by boundaries, but he cannot afford to take a single. So that expansive shot created some action for fielding, but no runs absolutely. This is fascinating how Shadley would go over. This time he's played straight into the hands of Shihan Jasuna. He pulls up a great catch out there in Langon. He misread that, started going inside. But then the ball had passed him up, but his outstretched hands plucked it out of thin air. That's the end of the innings, and the Seattle Thunderbolts innings has folded rather tamely for 103, and they've lost the game by 26 runs. Huge credit goes to Pranay Suri, who's been the record-in-chief for the strikers. They continue their winning streak, their 9th win on trot. And I would say Seattle Thunderbolts would rue their chances. They had the chase well under their grasp when Harmeet Singh and Andreas Haas was going around chasing the sport. But at the end, some of their own injudicious stroke have resulted in a loss from a match that they should have won. So looking at the scorecard, Andreas Haas 36, Prajit Moody didn't score any runs. James Crosswaith 22, Rishi Bhardwaj again a blob. Adam Crosswaith 8. Harmeet Singh was going great before he played a shot that he would question himself. 20. Shadley won shockwave at the end. Didn't have any other chances but go for the bigger shots. For 6. Jagrup Raina 1. Rohan Pasanapalli 5. Akhilesh Bodugam 0. Mani Simadrumi not out for 0. As for bowling, Saurabh Netravalkar 3 overs 1 for 9. Raymond Reifer 2 on 1 overs none for 21. Roshan Primus 21 for 26 of 3 overs. Srinivas Raghavan at 2 overs for 32. The record-in-chief Pranay Suri 5 for 10 from his 4 overs. Shihan Jayasuriya none for 3 from his 1 solitary over. It's an absolute no-brainer who's the player of the match today. 34 runs while batting and 5 for 10 from his bowling. It has to be Pranay Suri. So the result of the game, the Silicon Valley Strikers winning the game by 26 runs and continuing their winning streak. And it's a defeat, a rather a disappointing defeat for the home team, Seattle Thunderbolts. 103 all out at the end of the game. They would have a few successes to cheer from. They had a good bowling display today. Mani Simadri again in wickets. And they probably have Abhishek Akhilesh Bodugam again picking up a couple of wickets and continue his wicket-taking streak. Shadley had a couple of wickets too. But at the end, it was the professionalism from the Silicon Valley Strikers, wonderfully led by Unmukh Chand, who was very decisive in the field placement and the way he went about his bowling changes. They read the conditions well, and they understood the vulnerability of some poor decision-making of a shot selection from the Seattle Thunderbolts, and they were able to leverage those and exploit those to finally make a match of this game. So the first of the double-header going in favor of the Silicon Valley Strikers, and there will be a lot to play for tomorrow as these two teams meet once again at the same venue. And we'll look forward and join you. It will be a morning game, and we'll join to see if the fortune changes for the Seattle Thunderbolts or the Strikers continue their dominating best tomorrow as well. Till then, thank you for joining us, and once again apologies for a bit of indifferent telecast from our side here, some technical challenges, and we hope to make amends tomorrow and bring you an uninterrupted broadcast from ourselves. Till then, have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.